As I've talked about in a few of my other courses, it's important to validate and sanitize anything that's being stored in the database. For one, it's a requirement if you want to get your theme hosted on WordPress.org, but it's just good practice in general. Proper data validation and sanitization makes your theme harder to hack and less likely to be the weak link in the all too frequent chance that someone's server got hit by a hacker, spam bot, or malicious script. Validating data for theme options is no different. In this video, we'll look at how to take some of the new options we've created and validate that data before saving it to the database. In a few cases, we're relying on WordPress to do the work for us. This makes our job easier. This is what I'm doing for the text area, for example, calling in the sanitization function callback escape text area. For colors, I can use sanitize hex color. But for my own custom select boxes, I need to build my own sanitization functions. But that's actually really simple. I'll start with just the true-false options. I use this true-false select a bunch of times to enable and disable specific options. So I create a function that will accept a passed variable, which will be the value that's being sent by the customizer. All I need to do is check if this value matches a value in my AP core true-false function, which it should, assuming someone didn't try to hack it, since that's where it's coming from. If it does not match, I'm setting the value to null. Otherwise, I just return the value. If we go back to that function, you can see we only have two options, true, which has a label of yes, and false, which has a label of no. If something other than true or false is being passed, something's wrong. If you're using functions to return your select options, this can be done with any setting, no matter how those options are labeled. However, if you're defining the choices in an array within the theme customizer setting, you can also just check an array of values. But this way, I know that the data I'm using to create my select options is the exact same data that gets validated against. But what if you aren't validating something that's just a value in an array? You need to handle that differently. If I have an option to upload a favicon, I want to make sure that the file type that's getting uploaded is safe. It could be dangerous not to validate this because someone could upload some malicious PHP or JavaScript code and break the site. I start my validation function off the same, but this time I'm going to define a whitelist of MIME types and only allow image files, JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, and icon files. If the favicon has a value, I'm going to use getImageSize to get the information about the file. I really don't care about the size, but I do care about the MIME type, which is something that gets returned along with other information about the image when using getImageSize. So this time, I'm essentially doing the same thing. I'm checking the favicon MIME type against the list of whitelisted types using inArray. If it's there, I'm using escape URL raw on the value to make sure we're saving a valid URL. Otherwise, I'm returning null and the file doesn't get saved. Handling different types of data depends on what you're trying to validate. You can find more information on how to sanitize options from the theme customizer in this post on ThemeShaper by Automattic developer Konstantin Obenlund, one of the theme developers involved in the last several WordPress default themes.